My name is Geoff, I need something to do, an excuse to have conversations with you. I wasted my life gaining pop culture knowledge, which shows much more than my 10 seconds in college. My name is Geoff, Geoff needs something to do.
All right, it's time for another show, Gnesteders. Today we are going to have some fun with Thompson, improvateur and comedianist extraordinaire. We also might hear from some other friends of the show.
Was there more?
No, it's just, I don't know, something doesn't feel right or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So now that you're saying something, I'm starting to not feel exactly normal myself.
Well, hello! I dropped by to look at some new studio space, and this seems pretty nifty.
Dude, excuse me. Who are you? How did you get past security?
Oh, Chad, it's definitely strange, but that's David Lynch. Mr. Lynch, I'm a huge fan. Why are you looking for studio space in Salem, I guess? The ghost of Jason Lee called to me. It is happening again.
What? What are you talking about? Who? The David Lynch, the director guy, Geoff?
Well, yes. The whole universe is one bright pearl, and there is no need to understand it. Honestly, Chad, this is kind of how he is. I'll explain later. Mr. Lynch, I mean, I got to take advantage of an opportunity like this. I do have something I could run by you if you have the time. To believe you know where you are headed is not to understand where one is at the moment. All right, that's about as close as a yes as I think I'm going to get. So, yeah, why don't we go to the other room? My cow is not pretty, but it is pretty to me.
Okay, none of this makes sense to me. Okay, well, I guess that's the intro then.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, Detective Dash, dashing into your airwaves with Peep and I, Private Eye, Detective Agencies. That's right, hire me to do anything. I'll find out anything you want. Cheating spouse? You want me to find your dog? Want me to find your long-lost dad who left you but doesn't want to be found? I'll do anything. I'll even find out stuff you didn't want me to find. That's right. I'll go digging through your house. I'll look in your drawers. I'll look in your shelves. I'll find Tupperware you didn't know you had. That's right. Peep and I, Private Eye. I'm peeping. I'm private. That's right. Detective Dash, dashing into your airwaves. Go ahead and hire me. Call 1-800-PEEPER.
Okay, back to the show now.
We're back. I'm starting to hate these commercials less. At least this one is a product that I use anyway. And today we welcome our esteemed guest, Thompson.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome.
Good to be here. Good to be
the studios
here.
That you're journeying into unknown studio territory. You're here a lot.
I'm here quite often, actually. Yeah, I'm actually here pretty much every day of my life. So it's fine, though. I enjoy it. I like being here.
Well, there's a lot of nepotism involved at the studio. So yeah. No, I have been wanting to have you on for a while because honestly, I don't think we've ever really talked much anyway.
No, I don't think we've had a one-on-one necessarily,
or any sort of romantic interlude or anything like that. So, I'm always curious how people got into comedy. Like, what brought you into it? Like, how? Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say how I got in is particularly unique compared to anyone. It's the same story with a lot of people. It's like,
that's definitely true, but
people say you're funny, you should try stand up. So St. Patrick's Day 2015. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day 2015. I'm with my best friend. We're walking around downtown Portland. We were pretty bored because we're just not like that bar life kind
not
of.
Much to do.
And St. Patrick's Day, it's kind of rowdy.
Oh, that's
and
true.
like people are kind of insane to where, and me and my best friend that doesn't quite appeal to us anymore.
Like every St. Patrick's Day, I'm like ready to like punch anyone that tries to pinch me.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so we were walking around, and I had been going through, because through my 20s, I always said that I wanted to be an actor because that was something that I thought I should do. And I think I just said that because I was too scared to do stand-up. And finally, my best friend was like, hey, you should just do it already, man. Like, you're not doing what I think you should be doing, so just do that. And I was like, okay. And it was kind of one of those, I don't want to sound like corny, but it was like a big pivot in life to when I finally
I totally get that.
found a direction. And then the next month, the first open mic I went to was Helium, and I didn't get on the list.
Yeah.
And then the next week, a former employee here who I went to high school with was like, hey, come to Capital City.
Okay.
Do an open mic here. And a bunch of people came out to support me, as they do for some people's like first time.
Yes, definitely.
And it just
like
felt
the guy with cancer.
like the cancer guy. Yes. And it went well. And then I came back a second time, and it went well again. And then eventually it didn't go well. As they go.
Wait,
but,
what?
Yeah.
How does that... Wait, I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah, no, it can go not well.
Oh, man.
I know.
What have I been doing for 7 years?
But something that my best friend told me when he had that talk with me on St. Patty's Day, he was like, it doesn't matter.
Friend Dash, what do you really need to know?
He was very Irish or Scottish. He was like,
it's one side of the border.
It's a blend.
You know.
What should I do?
The Pates.
The Pates. Do you touch my shillelagh?
Are you Irish at all?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Black Irish.
But he said it doesn't matter if you don't do well. It just matters if you enjoy doing it.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, okay. So then I just kept doing it, and I was like, I want to do this forever.
Well, and there's always the thing that, like, if you make it in stand-up comedy, there's like 3/4 of them are like, oh, I actually always wanted to be an actor, so that you can just like catapult into that anyway.
Yeah,
and also improv lends to acting, so.
Yeah, I thought about that, like if stand-up took off, and then I went into film, but I think ultimately stand-up would be. I'm always going to go back to stand-up just because it's. I mean,
it's kind of a touchstone for I know for me. So
yeah, and there's a lot of people who, like I know Chris D'Elia talks about how like he just loves doing stand-up so much, and that's why he hasn't gone over to film as much. So he just keeps doing stand-up because he loves doing it.
Someone else was talking about Chris D'Elia. I need to listen to that podcast because you're like there's more than one person that's talked to me about him. So
yeah, yeah. So that's how I got into stand-up, and I just love doing it because it's
an addiction.
It is an addiction. It's a kind of a healthy one, kind of not.
Kind of a healthy addiction.
Sometimes.
Well, and you can tell that it takes a little while for it to set in. Like last night, there was a pretty brand new comic that got super frustrated and then took it out on the wrong people. Like he didn't be like, okay, so what I need to do is listen to what I did and then do better next time. Instead, he yelled at Chad and then yelled at the audience for not laughing at him.
Yeah, and that's that's frustrating to watch if you've been doing it a while and you know better. But also, you kind of understand it because that's part of the growing pains.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, like it's not good to like set bridges on fire when you're just starting
that's
out
true.
too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen people do that real quick. Yeah, because
and then there's Tom Youngs,
and there's good old Tommy. Yeah,
we mentioned him by name on the podcast.
I could tell because you just did it. Because you just fully went Tom Youngs.
Well, it's kind of an enemy friend thing, like not friend. I guess that's a little strong.
He's a good sport.
He's a good sport for the most part. He was whining a little bit on Facebook today, but you know.
Was he?
Well, because Lars took this picture of Chad sitting there like waiting for him to get off the stage, and he was like, "They didn't even give me the second light."
Yeah, yeah, you see a lot of that. It's kind of weird how because before I started, I went and I looked up like rules about comedy, like things to know.
Like books on how to do it?
No, not
or?
books. Just like little like tips about open mics and stuff. Like it like the
how to write a funny joke.
No, like common courtesy in stand up. So like don't run the lights.
Oh yeah,
that kind of stuff. Just because I didn't want to step on any toes, and I didn't want to.
It's good that you did that because obviously most people don't, and I know I didn't. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. Going into any situation, I think you would want to know some of the guidelines.
Well, I guess it did help that Jesse was kind of like took me under his wing, so to speak, and like showed me how to do things. So
yeah,
so that did help. But yeah. Well, and you've done a lot of comedy like outside of Salem too, like in Portland. And you've been on the road a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done stuff in California.
Just because I haven't really had that experience, so I'm just curious what that. Well,
and
you have a lot of material, I'm sure, about going up in California. So.
Well, I didn't really do any shows in California because I just went to visit LA because I'd never been, and I just did open mics there, which was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But really, my road experience outside of like the Eugene, Portland, is like I did a weekend in like Ashland and Klamath Falls, and
Wait,
are they
near each other?
They're about hour and a half.
I
apart.
always mix up Ashland with a couple other cities with A's that start with A's. So never mind.
So I did a weekend there, and then last summer I did Ashland again. I opened at a cabaret theater there, and the difference was massive just because the headliner got booked at a better venue this time. So it was...
Oh, like less people the second time or more?
Way more people.
Oh, okay.
And in the cabaret theater, so it was like, oh, geez. And the crowd, I would say they were all... average age was probably like 55.
Wow.
It was an older crowd.
And you said did you do well, did you say? Or
Yeah, I did well.
It's always, I love it when that happens, when you're like, oh no, we got a bunch of blue hairs in here, like I'm fucked. And then they're just like totally game.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
Well, because I looked out from behind the curtain, I looked at the crowd and I went, you make that mental mark and you're like, okay, well, not my crowd. And I was, it's me and then the headliner, so I was supposed to do 25 minutes. And I'm like, this is either going to be the longest 25 minutes or it's going to go really well. And it went well, thankfully. Ashland's a very liberal town, so they're actually pretty hungry for comedy when it comes. And they're like, oh, they're pretty open, so that's cool.
What was I going to say? I had a question and I just spaced on it. God damn it. This is why we have editing.
It's all good.
Oh, what was it? I always did love hearing stories of the road. Like, when I lived in Portland, I would like talk to Don Frost about like stories of shows he's been to. Like one where they gave tomatoes to the audience, and they got paid $500 to do the show. And so he was like, yeah, sure, what, $500? Yeah, give me that. Yeah. And so, but like it was like apparently really brutal, and they knocked some guy out with a tomato at one point. Gosh. And then after the show, as he was paying him, he was like, hey, so we were thinking about doing this show again next month. Would you be interested? And he said, I thought for a half second, I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do that. I'll totally do that again.
Yeah. I don't have anything crazy like that. One of the craziest ones, and this has never happened, it is only the one time it ever happened, was I was doing a show in Ashland. And it was in like a strip mall Mexican restaurant.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And already I was like, okay. And as I'm hosting, the feature comes up to me and whispers in my ear, hey, man, headliner decided he's not going to show up. So,
oh, boy, that's a good sign.
Yeah. And then I found out that I guess the headliner was in the parking lot, drove by, saw the crowd, and went, I'm not gonna come in. There's not enough people. And that to this day has blown me away because I was like,
seriously.
Well,
how do you, like, it's just like, granted, if it's like something where you're doing like a dumb like a really small show, like there are people in town that have thrown shows that, like, you know, they can't even like do a set themselves,
right?
And they throw together a show. It makes sense when stuff like that happens at those shows. But if you're booking out of town people, maybe you should have your shit together, you know? Like,
it was bizarre. And then there was another show I did. It was on New Year's Eve, and it was in a bar out in like Kaiser, like really small. They had like a guarantee. So they normally have music acts, so they had like $400 to give, and it was me and then 2 other comics, and I was going to host it.
Okay.
And I was like, sweet, we'll make some money. And it went okay, but it was also like Noriko Ott was on it. And
wait, because he usually does well. I would.
He did great. Oh yeah,
okay.
no, he was great. I think I was the only one who just ate shit so hard at that. Because one of them told me afterwards.
When was this? Because I'm wondering. No, it couldn't
this
have been
was
back.
New Year's Eve. I want to say either 2015 or 2016.
Okay, I guess that would be after that. I was thinking of, there's this bar that used to have a comedy mic thing, but that was way back. Anyway.
And no, Noriko, he's amazing, so he did really well. But it was definitely a struggle because there were dudes there who are like kind of like the gruff country people, farmers who are like, "You're gay, man." One of them said that as he walked by. He was like,
"Wow!"
But he was like, as he walked by Noriko on his way out to the patio, he goes, "You suck!" And then he walked out, and then Noriko goes, "Sorry guys, that was my boyfriend. He gets really jealous when and it was such a I was like,
oh, that's really good."
But it was pretty horrendous.
I always think of like the witty thing to say like 10 minutes later.
I know. I'm so jealous when they know just
like
what to say in the moment.
I used to have a joke about Jesus giving me a blowjob, and
classic.
Yeah, no, I've grown out of such things now. I think. Okay, I take it back. I'm a 4-year-old, but anyway, I had that joke, and then I also had a joke later on about how like George Bush, after everything he did, now he's known as a painter, and I was like, oh, that's like, you know. Like the elephant that can paint, you know, it's like, oh, good job, Peanut.
Yeah,
and so I made both of those jokes, and this was at the Shack. And afterwards, this really old guy came up to me and goes, "You know, you can have your opinion, but you shouldn't force it on others." And like 10 minutes later, I was like, "You mean like you just did?"
Yeah, I know. Like what you are doing currently, sir?
And also, I thought about, like, wait, so that means that he had no problem with Jesus giving me a blowjob, but he was really pissed off about me making fun of George Bush slightly.
Don't you touch G-Dub! Do not touch G-Dub!
Oh, man, remember when he was the worst thing ever?
Yeah, and...
It's so wistful to look back on those times.
Remember how we now wish we had him back?
Oh, God. When we were like, no, George, please, come back, help.
You weren't that
help
bad.
Us. Oh boy, the world is. There's also a great Patton Oswalt bit about like demons that are like fucking people in the ass, and it's like, oh, you're a comedian, you should be happy.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to be happy.
No, I don't like this. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other like road things that I've done.
I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of experience hosting this mic. I mean, just from when I'm here, obviously crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's a picture of me when I was hosting. This is also when I would wear like a collared shirt and a tie to host, just because I thought it'd be like fun and spiffy. And then I was like, that's too much work. But I just remember there was a picture, and Chad took it of me on the stage, and I'm just like going like this because it's this guy from the East Coast who's just screaming into a microphone, and he's been way over time.
Jersey Shore!
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. The guy with the guitar. Or something, right?
No, he didn't have a guitar.
Oh, no, okay. No, I know who you're talking about, though, because it was the couple that came in, and they were wasted, and they were, like, staying at the Grand Hotel.
And then they, like, one of their friends he was in a tracksuit, and he definitely looked like he was in the mob. And,
whoa!
Yeah, whoa!
Oh,
hey! But he kept coming up. They were pissed drunk. He kept coming up to
Yeah.
me being like, when are you going to put Tommy on, huh? Come on. I got stuff. Put Tommy on. And I was just like, your time is coming. I'm going to put you on stage.
You mean, did he literally mean the character from Goodfellas, Tommy?
No, it was his name. I don't know if his name was Tommy.
What, do
but
I
it was,
amuse you?
Yeah. Do I amuse you? I don't know if it was Tommy, but it was something kind of like that. I think it was Tommy Bahama.
I'm pretty sure
his name.
60% of Mafia members are named Tommy.
They're named Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, Tommy Bones or Tommy 3 times.
That was pretty rough. And then also the other there was lots of strange ones. I remember there was a Carnival Cruise magician who was doing magic, and his joke failed 3 times in a row.
But there was a joke.
No, his magic trick. Sorry.
Oh,
failed 3 times in a row.
His hilarious magic tricks.
To when it was like everyone was like, "Oof, this is bad."
Oh.
And then I remember Janine laid behind this curtain, and to light her, I had to walk up behind the curtain and just flash her in the eyes because she was face down. She was face down behind the curtain, talking to the microphone. You could just see her feet sticking out.
It was
yeah.
very believable.
Stuff like that.
For whatever you said, the thing about the magic trick. I remember once. I can't remember why I even went, but it was like a hypnotist was doing the show, and I remember the reason I went is because Tim Hammer was doing a set beforehand. And I don't know if you've ever seen Tim Hammer.
I've heard of him. I've heard lots.
He is the best short joke writer that has ever lived. Like
wow.
it's phenomenal. He had 20 minutes on Oreos.
That's pretty hilarious. That's pretty impressive.
And
you can do that.
He's a little strange, and he periodically will just stop doing comedy for like 6 months or a year, and then come back and just like, oh, you're still the exact same genius that you were before.
So cool and frustrating.
Yeah, I know, right? But then anyway, so I kind of like half tricked myself to stay for the other part of it, and it was literally the saddest thing that I have ever seen happen ever.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
He when he was hypnotizing everybody. Will was one of them that got Will
Gibbons?
Will Gibbons. And the best thing about him being there though is I don't think that he was trying to make fun of the guy, but he was because he like you could just tell that he was not hypnotized in any way, shape, or form. Like he was just like, oh god, that was painful. Although later that night I saw the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, so there's that.
Win, lose, win.
It's a wash.
It's a wash. You broke even that night. Yeah, that's a hypnotist. That's hit or miss, mostly miss. I
that was
like.
Is his name Paul or what? The guy that used to do stand up, but now he just does improv. Chad,
it's your sound engineer.
Yeah, the professional show. Everybody,
he's engineering sounds over there. It's fine.
Anyway, we actually should probably move on here. We have a few games, and this first one is called "Which Band Loved Jesus?" Someday I'm gonna get this right. Fucking keyboard.
I love that.
All right, so well, that went well. So the first song is called Blue Comb 78. To be honest, I'm a little worried that you might know one of these bands or songs.
I'm not worried at all.
Well, good for you.
Summer of 1978. My sister and I in the backseat just wait. We pass the time by making lines on the seat that we can't cross the thin line like dental floor. Yeah. See to make you blue come out there and up somewhere at 70.
That gives you a pretty good idea.
I had to guess who the band is and if they love Jesus.
No, you got. No, you just have to guess which band loved Jesus after I play the second song here. And this song is called Great American Sharpshooter. Great American Sharpshooter by this band.
When time is all you lost, it keeps burning through your head. Now you're falling asleep, stand up, smile, wake in bed. Watch the clock drag on, think of what you should have said. Oh, it's for the better, you better have God. It's okay, you didn't need her anyway. I don't want to hear you say no, but he can take her face.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna guess the first band Loves Jesus.
That's a good guess. It is 5 Iron Frenzy.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite songs. Like, it's up in the top 20 of all time for me. That band and that song. But,
my sister's ex-husband was either in that band or
What?
news. Oh yeah. No, like I have connections to
sadly
the
know their names.
Jesus loving bands so much. Yeah,
That's kind of why I was worried, because I was wondering if you might know, either just because I wanted to do a type of music that you might be a little familiar with too. I don't know if you listen to ska, but or that type of ska. But.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my sister's ex-husband was in like a band in high school called the Beldings after Mr. Belding.
I know the Beldings. I've actually played a show with the Beldings before.
Yeah, that's Jake
Wow.
Jake Carey is my sister's ex-husband. And then my sister also dated the bass player for Portugal the Man when they first started.
That's a different type of band, but
it's very different, I know. My sister has a weird life.
That's really crazy. Like, every time I talk to someone and I haven't really talked to them much before, there's always these like things,
weird little connections
that connect.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. And then the second band was Less Than Jake, and it's Great American Sharpshooter. That one was kind of tough to find a song where like they didn't curse or they didn't like say things that would be like, I'm pretty sure they're not. So that's the main difficulty in this game. Oh, and you get 6 Geoff coins.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
6 Geoff coins.
Shiny new Geoff
What
coins.
do they buy?
What was that?
What do they buy?
Oh, they're made by Blockbuster Chain. There's a crazy guy that came in and gave a whole speech about it at one point on the show.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's like Bitcoin, but it's better because it has my name in it. So
this buys nothing, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
No, I'm telling you, it's worth a lot of money.
Okay.
Perfect.
The bubble will never burst.
I will immediately redeem them with you. Was that like $500?
Sure.
You said there? Well, all right. You own them.
Yeah, it's worth $500.
American dollars.
Doll hairs.
Doll hairs.
Wait, that's got to be on something. Doll hairs. And then the next game we have is It's a Bad Scene, man. I fucking did it right. Yeah. I'm just going to sit here listening to it because I'm proud that I got it right. No, not really.
Proud of you, Geoff.
So this is basically just, we're going to do an improv scene, and I'm not very good at it, so we'll see if it can be fun anyway. It usually is.
Okay.
Let's see.
We want to get a suggestion for what this scene is?
I think we
be?
did do the.
Is there anybody
ones.
Is there anybody right outside that door?
Oh, good point.
Sometimes we just lean out and ask for a word.
Hey, Jared! Why don't you suck my dick?
We got a suggestion from Jared.
Hot dog salesman.
Okay, so how do you usually start these? Do you go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Hot dogs for sale. Hot dogs.
What sizes of hot dogs do you have? I'm in a hurry. I got to get to work.
Well, I got large, extra large, and extra small.
You're the only person that does it in T-shirt sizes. Can I get an inches for the hot dog sizes here? I got to get to fucking work, man. This is New York City, motherfucker.
That's gross. Inches.
All right. Never mind. I'm leaving. Sorry.
I'm the eccentric hot dog vendor.
Hey, are you selling hot dogs on my corner?
Yes. Why are you one of the guys from Tommy or?
Yeah, I'm one of the guys from Tommy. Tommy from the sewers. You're selling my hot dogs, you son of a bitch.
Okay, is this Tommy C or Tommy R? Because I've had problems with that distinction in the past.
It's Tommy. Bleh. It's a different Tommy.
Oh, great. All right, so, like, I have to move corners, or...
No, that's not what you gotta do. Listen, I get it. You gotta make a living here in the cartridge liquor.
Hot dogs!
Yeah. We're gonna come to... Oh, fucking business guy.
Bradley, how many hot dogs have you even sold today? How many hot dogs? You look like you still have a full fucking hot dog cart here.
I can't remember if I changed out all these hot dogs.
You haven't even opened the ketchup. Nobody
puts ketchup on hot dogs. This is fucking New York City.
Is that your mom?
Come on.
I like
hot.
ketchup. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Who's this fella?
I got a deal.
Who's this fella?
How about this?
This
You
is-
can have this corner.
Mom,
I gotta date your mom.
Oh shit! This ring comes right the fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what? Wait.
yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay. Just
She's been really stressed out lately.
whoring me out. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Come here. What was your name, hot dog
you're
man?
saying it's not-
Bradley, thank you for
Bradley.
I just want you to sell. You better sell more hot dogs. You're like, I need a summer job. I bought you this fucking hot dog.
Well, everybody's
wagon.
always complaining about, oh, you don't got inches or whatever. They're always talking about inches.
What sizes are you telling these people you have hot dogs
Well, I
for?
have large, extra large.
I'm from Boston.
Extra large, and then extra small.
Oh, well, shit.
When do I get to fuck your mom?
Whoa.
Hey, who's
that's really something you could maybe discuss.
I
with
consented
her.
before I even met this fella.
Yeah.
I like the way he looks.
No,
So tell me about your
appreciate
friend.
everything you do for me, Ma. Now, fuck off.
Okay. Well, I bought you this hot dog cart, and this is how you repay me. I do.
Bought it for me at the Price Club.
I do the best I can for you, Bradley.
Bradley, it sounds like your mom's really pleading the case here. I think you should really have a discussion with her before I plow her.
She's so concerned her accent is changing wildly.
36 years old, Bradley. You're 36 years old. You live at home. You say you need a summer job.
Bradley.
I'm 36 and a half.
How about this? Me and your ma, who have now eloped and we are married. We're gonna move into a penthouse downtown.
Did Tommy X jump out of the ground and marry you two already?
Well, don't worry about it. Hey, how about this, kiddo? You move in with me and your ma. You can hear me plow her like a Boston snowstorm every night. Yeah.
Well, I guess either way, sausage is my business, right?
Hey.
Because he's gonna
That's
use
your
his
mom,
sausage.
you pervert. How about this? Move in. I'll help you with your hot dog business. I gotta plow your mom, and you're gonna have a corner.
I think we can make something mutually agreeable. Where I don't have any repercussions, and you have to fuck my mom.
That sounds pretty good to me.
I don't have a job. He doesn't have a job.
I know.
And then you have this hot dog wagon, and then it's going to be some like trickle up economics in this
it's a
family.
cot, Ma.
Whatever.
Not a. Just saying. You know my blood pressure.
You pull it around with a handle. You just walk it there. It's a
has
fucking
wheels.
wagon. Yeah, every wagon has wheels. Bradley, are you stupid? Bradley,
Yeah.
Bradley,
Are you
how
stupid,
stupid
Bradley?
are you, Bradley? Bradley?
Is a wheelbarrow technically a wagon?
Yes, it is a one-wheel wagon, Bradley. Come on.
Well-wheel wagon.
Hold on,
It's a one-wheel wagon, Bradley.
Well-wheel wagon.
One-wheel wagon. It's a
wrap-
hot dog,
I
Bradley.
gotta wrap my head around this. Is all. Hold on.
Okay.
I feel like we resolved this a while ago.
But is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh my god.
I mean, if
Your kid is so dumb.
Yeah, I know. He has nothing up in the craniums.
You don't have-
I went to school inside this hot dog cart. That's what she made me do.
Well,
Well, how
it's
is he gonna learn to sell
Hey,
hot dogs?
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of
that's true.
a closet that I
True.
had him go read in, and then I put some insulation in it, and now it's a hot dog stand.
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess I'm just sorry that we didn't go the traditional route of sex for property so that I can sell hot dogs.
Bradley, I'm your mother. I'm your fucking mother, Bradley.
Yeah.
I'm really nailing this Boston accent. I'm your fucking mother. Bradley, I'm your fucking mother, okay?
So we're
okay,
in-
you motherfucker. I am your fucking mother, and I will come down here, and I
Yeah,
will fucking
yeah.
kill you
Yeah.
if you don't fucking sell these hot dogs, Bradley.
You get it, Tammy. Get it, Tammy. Yeah, tight bod.
Yeah.
Hot dogs!
There you go.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, he's
That's
getting
my
it.
boy. That's my boy.
Scene.
All right.
And now a word from our sponsors.
All right, so now we have a new segment that should be ongoing, and it's called Blue Velvet Skies, where Mr. David Lynch, I'm starstruck here, will be giving the weather report each week. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to give it away to Mr. David Lynch. Well, hello there. As W.C. Fields would say, I'd rather be here than Philadelphia. It'll be 54 degrees on a slightly overcast day. But until next week, remember, it is a story of many, but begins with one, and I knew her. The one leading to the many is Laura Palmer. Laura is the one. Well, I have to say thank you so much, Mr. David Lynch here in studio. Thank you so much. I hope we can see you back every week.
Geoff, he didn't even say anything about the weather.
Shut up, Chad. Mulholland Drive. I'm not gonna let you get to me when this is happening. No. All
right, fine.
I'm gonna do my mantra. Then I'm gonna go. You're gonna get me a coffee, and then we're gonna talk about what we're doing next week. Could you guys pull my limo around?
Okay, back to the show now.
Who knew you could do improv so well, Chad?
I was just yelling at Geoff.
Yeah, I know, but you know.
He's used to it.
You had a character, you established a relationship. You should really do improv, man. It's pretty good.
You should do something.
Hey, man, you should do improv. Do some improv.
Somebody told you guys what makes me hard. People whispering to me.
Did I end it too early?
Boner pillow. No, that was great.
Okay. I'm starting to maybe learn a few things as time goes on.
Yeah, Geoff took one improv class, and now he thinks he knows fucking everything. This fucking guy
does know everything.
You're auditioning though, right?
Yes, I am.
That's awesome.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know that I'll do very well.
It's more of a placement process.
I literally have only taken
right?
like 3 classes. I did reid. Why am I talking?
Because we're recording still.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are still recording.
I read Truth in Comedy and I read the UCB manual, but I sold both those to Jared, so I probably need to get one of them back and just start looking through it.
Yeah, I mean the best teacher is just actual.
Well, sure, and I am planning on doing that.
But yeah, just doing auditions is nice because it gets you into the process of the improv whatever stage.
Well, even if I don't get placed or anything, at least I have the experience of doing it, and I'll know what it's like.
Yeah,
and all that.
It's totally fine. Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's just and it's mostly just like I want to learn it because I really respect it because it's been something that really inspired me into comedy originally. Yeah. So
cool.
That's kind of why. Yeah,
improv is.
I'm always asking him if he saw this or that UCB sketch, and he never has. So.
Yeah. Chad doesn't seem like an improv guy.
We also want to do like some plugs and things like that. So yeah, do you have any plugs, Dash?
Plugs like
just
things
stuff. This is probably coming out in like 2 months or something. But
is it?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, you got like 7 weeks probably.
Yeah.
Oh, well, everything will have passed by then, so what am I going to plug?
What do you do
the one downside right now.
What do I do? Improv shows, Friday, Saturdays. Every now and then, you can always check. They don't put who the cast is, which I think they might start doing here at the theater, like who the cast is that night.
On the, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know because sometimes it can change, so that would be hard to keep up. But
we'll say Dash did a great job at the Undertow Comedy Festival.
Yeah, I was at the Undertow
Comedy.
When you hear this, I will have been there and gone.
You're on the same festival as Ron Lynch, and that makes you like demigod at least.
And Funches.
And Ron Funches.
Yes, Ron Lynch and Funches.
And Judah Friedlander.
Boy, that is not
two
names you should ever tell to Ron. Yeah, don't tell Ron Funches that joke.
I thought you just misspoke.
No, because Ron Lynch, Ron Funches.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
I got it.
The only thing I'm going to bring up to Ron Funches is how I loved his work in the movie Trolls.
I didn't.
He was still good in it. Yeah.
I thought it might have been a joke, so I was like,
that's the thing that I'm really going to hammer home is that I loved that specifically.
I bet you that has made him the most money out of anything he's ever done.
Easily, probably.
I used to have a pretty good Ron Funches impression. I don't know if I can still do it.
I'd love to hear it.
Oh my God, please.
Hello, Geoff. Can I speak to Ron Funches? He's not British.
Who was that?
I was trying to. Who's that guy?
Was that Ron Funches?
No, James Lipton. Hello, I'm James Lipton.
Hello, I'm James
Let me speak
Lipton.
to Ron Funches.
What was it? What was it? The blackberries are in season.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It used to be better, I think. It's like, he also had a great joke where he was walking down the street and someone yelled out, "Hey, N-word, use a crosswalk." And he goes, I feel like right as he went out of my range of hearing, he just said, "Hey, N-word, use a crosswalk. I'm worried about your safety."
That's good.
It always just made me laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's a tangent.
What's your favorite impression to do, Geoff?
I'm not very good at them.
Okay.
But
What's your plugs?
By the way, the pilots, you should probably plug that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I might have
Because
cut
it's
that
a
off.
really good show.
And when this is coming out?
Like
7 weeks?
Something like that.
Yeah.
The pilots probably won't be around then. No. Kidding. I do a podcast with Emma Jonas where we improvise a brand new podcast every single episode. And that's fun.
And it's very funny, and it makes me laugh every time. The NASA episode,
Oh, yeah.
holy crap.
That's one of our best.
I was repeating lines in my head
It's
for
so stupid.
hours afterwards.
was
Because you
really-
were like, "Ain't that right, Chad? Is that right, Chad? Is that right, Chad?"
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I like that it was ambiguous what my name was.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
Is it Chad or Jet?
And your accent work was hilariously all over the place.
It
in there.
was. That's every episode. My accent work is all over the place.
Well, see, okay, like, I'm of the school of comedy that, like, if it's funny, it's funny. It doesn't matter if it's, like, perfect.
Technically good.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of how I feel about music in a lot of ways. Like,
yeah, that's the
punk rock and stuff.
school of comedy I have to be
Yeah.
because I'm not technically good. So I have to. Well, this is my bed. This is where I lay. I made it.
Anyway, you also are periodically on Zach Chapel, everybody.
Yeah, I make appearances on there whenever they
And that's
want me
a
to.
very fun show
like
that
a
happens here too. I think it's
stupid-
monthly, right?
character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
a lot
yeah,
of
go to all
improv
those
here at
things.
the theater.
Yes, a lot of
And
that.
stand-up shows. I'll periodically host or just be on here. That's a thing to plug.
Friday Night Funny, Saturday Night Sassy.
Saturday Night Sass. Yeah, Sunday Night Slow Jams. That's a new one I'm gonna do here by myself. No one else is here.
Yeah, no,
I just wear a silk robe and tell jokes into a mirror.
I like that.
Slowly caress
the
myself.
the
That's
janitor
a good
looks
show.
at you sadly.
Yeah. Speedy looks at me.
But I'm sorry. This is like you plugging yourself and
Oh, I'm plugging myself, guys. I'm gonna plug myself real good.
I'm gonna plug myself right.
Don't plug my real word. So what are we? Where are we going next?
I'll do some. I don't think I have any like specific plugs outside of just listen to this show. But if you hear this, then you already are. So thanks.
Send him emails.
Send me emails, and also describe how Podcast is the enemy of the show, and
Chaos is the enemy.
yeah, they're an enemy of the show,
Interesting.
and I'm an enemy of their show. So,
Interesting.
speaking of, Chad, do you have any plugs?
I have a podcast called The Podcast here. It's a fantastic podcast. It's one of the best, I would say.
It's probably not good.
It
to
is
have.
really fun.
I edit and produce this show. I record the podcast and the pilots in this little studio here, and I do Friday Night Funny, Zach Chapel, everybody. I'm here at the theater a lot, and go to my Facebook page, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see that farting is my business. Go like farting. You already do, so just go take care of that.
Yeah, sure.
And
Give it a review because everybody needs
I
to
forgot about
share
that.
the
Yeah.
love.
Stupid Facebook page.
excuse you.
What did he fart?
Hey!
High fives all around.
We're plugging each other, guys.
that was some good deceptive high-fiving that I did there. All right. So that brings us to the end of the episode. And as always, I feel dumb.
My name is Geoff. I need something to do, an excuse to have conversations with you. I wasted my life gaining pop culture knowledge, which shows much more than my 10 seconds in college. My name is Geoff. Geoff needs something to do.
You've been listening to Geoff Needs Something to Do with your host, Geoff Parks. Recorded in the Salem Comedy Studios at Capital City Theater. Produced and edited by Chad Johnson.
This has been a Salem Comedy Studios production.